It is exam season, and we all know that this is when a lot of assignments are due. As a student, I would like to spend most of my time preparing for my exams and spend as little time as possible on other things like assignments. But we all know that we cannot neglect our assignments because we need that mark in order to boost our final mark. But then what do you really do when you do not have enough time to complete your assignments? I mean, you have to do a lot of reading and then you do not know where to start. And referencing takes a lot of time. That is why I use AI Thor. AI Thor, it is an AI tool that helps you generate an essay in a few minutes. What makes it different from other AI tools is that you can humanize your essay. You can choose the style that you want the essay to be to match your style so that it doesn't sound like it was written by AI at all. Let me show you how you can do it. Search aithor.com and it would lead you directly to their website. Then type the title of the essay that you would like to generate. When you got your title, press create for free and then it will ask you what number of pages or words are you aiming for. And you can also pick the tone of your voice or the style of your essay and the type of referencing that you would like to use. Then here you go. Here is your essay ready to be submitted. There are also AI actions to help you paraphrase, find the references, shorten, and expand your essay. Let me know if you have used AI Thor for your essays and how was your experience. Also, if you do not mind, share how much you got for your marks. And if you have any experience when it comes to using any other AI tool like ChatGPT to write your essays, also please share your story on the comment section. And did you get caught or did you not? I would really like to hear that. Hello Med Fanatics, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for watching one of my videos once again. And if you're new here, welcome. I hope you do stay and become a part of my journey as I become Dr. Andy. I come back once again with another study tips video, and this time I'm about to give you the very crucial tip you need to ace your exams. I know you have probably heard a lot of people saying use past papers to prepare for your exams, or them telling you that they got these good marks because they've used past papers, but whenever you use the past papers, it doesn't give you the results that you want. Well, I am here to give you the top tips on how to do past papers to get the best marks in your exams. Firstly, I would like to highlight all the wrong things that people do when it comes to using past papers to practice for exams. Number one, people don't study the topic before they attempt the past papers. If you do past papers without any background knowledge on the topic, you are not going to get the best results out of it. You'll be simply memorizing the memo, and that is not what you want to achieve. Number two is that people look at the memo before they attempt the past paper. If you have looked at the memo before you do the question, why are you attempting the question? Because you already know the answer. That is basically cheating. So you are not doing yourself justice. You are wasting your time. The third thing is attempting past papers that do not have a memo. This is not a good idea unless you have enough time to go back to your study resources and create a memo. But also, how sure can you be that your answers are actually the right answers and this is the way that you need to be answering? So I do not recommend doing a past paper that doesn't have a memo. The fourth thing people get wrong when it comes to doing past papers is that they leave some questions unattempted because they think they are hard, and then they just jump straight into the memo and check what the answer is. The thing is, when you are doing a past paper, you are trying to test your knowledge. So you need to make sure that you attempt the question as best as possible. Even if you have no idea, you don't remember, you're not sure, write whatever you think it is right, then go to the memo. Because if you do not do that, if you do not try at all, how will this give you a good reflection of what you know and what you do not know? The main thing about doing a past paper is trying to assess whether you will do good in your exam. So you need to imagine your past paper as your exam paper. Well, I can go on and on about the list of things that people get wrong when it comes to doing past papers, but let me just give you the tips on how to do past papers the right way. And I promise you, if you use these tips, you can easily even score 100% when it comes to your exams. Obviously, before we jump right in, you need to make sure that you have the past papers. If you are in high school and you want to know where to get past papers, especially if you are in matric, I've posted a video sharing study resources for grade 8 to grade 12. Go to that video. I've posted all the websites and apps where you can access past papers. And if you are in university, it might be a little bit tricky to find past papers simply because they are not just available on the internet, because each university has a different way on how, they run their curriculums and how they test their exams. But what you can do is actually ask around. Ask your classmates if they have past papers. Some people might have past papers and they got them from like the previous class. Ask your tutor, ask your mentor. I know in university there's usually those circulating Google Drives that contain past papers from the previous years. So the best way in university is to make sure that you make those connections so that you get those resources. Okay, now that you have your past papers, I want you to choose 3 past papers from 3 different years. For example, if you are preparing for your June exam, I want you to choose June exam past papers from 3 different years. It can be random years like 2015, 2018, 2022. Any paper from any year, as long as it is within your current curriculum, it really doesn't matter. Now, after you've picked the 3 past papers, I want you to tackle the past paper question by question. Listen carefully because this is the most important step. What you do not want to do when you start practicing past papers is just doing a paper from question 1 up until the last question. You want to start tackling topic by topic. So after you have found your 3 past papers, create a table where you will keep record of all the past papers and the questions that you have attempted. So on the table, you will write all the topics that are in that paper or the topics that are in your exam. And then on the next column, you write the total number of marks that question weighs. And then you would have 3 more columns titled first attempt, second attempt, and third attempt. So here is the most important step. Tackle 1 question at a time. So this helps you retain a lot of that information in your memory, and it helps you master the way they test the questions for that topic. And on top of that, you can be able to trace what question do they like to repeat. So now let's say you have studied the topic and you want to test whether you are ready for your exam. So you are going to take all of your 3 past papers that you picked and you are going to attempt that topic only from those 3 past papers. You don't necessarily have to do all the 3 papers at one time. You can just do 1 paper at a time, focusing only on that topic. So when you attempt the questions, as I've said, do not read the memo beforehand. Make sure that you are putting all of your knowledge, all of your skills, whatever you can remember on that paper. Answer like this is your exam. Don't leave any spaces out unless you are blank, and you would leave spaces out even if it was your exam. After you have done attempting this paper, you can now check the memo and mark yourself and be honest with yourself as possible, because you do not want to be fooling yourself, giving you more marks than you deserve. So after you've marked yourself, fill down the marks that you have received under attempt 1. If you have gotten less than 50%, I recommend that you go back and study that topic. Leave the past papers alone, because it is clear that you do not have enough knowledge when it comes to this topic and you are not ready for your exam. And if you got a mark between 50% to 75%, I suggest you attempt the same question again. So you are going to attempt the same question fully, including the questions that you got right. And then the marks that you get on your second attempt will now determine whether you need to do a third attempt or you are good to go. If you've gotten marks above 75% for that question, I do suggest that you go back to the memo or the topic that you've just done and do some revision. Check where you went wrong, correct your mistakes, and make sure that that mistake doesn't happen again, but you do not have to repeat the question. So after attempting the same topic across the 3 papers, make sure that you keep record of these questions that repeat in all the papers that you do, because those are the questions that are likely to be tested in your exam. Listener, if you are studying for a subject that is content heavy, I'm talking biology, history, economics, geography, anything that requires you to remember a lot of information, this is what I need you to do. Take a separate paper and do a Q&A. So take the questions from your question paper and the answer from the memo after you've attempted it, and make your own Q&A bank. So the types of questions you would like to include in your Q&A are definitions, processes, diagrams, essay questions, etc. Especially if that question contains a lot of marks, because you want to make sure that should you get the exact question in your exam, you make sure that you give them the memo. And later on, when it's like a day or 2 before your exams, you can just focus on the Q&A that you've just created. I think this is really a great tool to use. Another thing that you would like to note when you're attempting the questions is that notice that topic that weighs a lot of marks, and make sure that you master this topic, because if you do not know that topic, this is where you are most likely to lose a lot of marks. And past papers are great because they are consistent throughout the years. If you didn't know, there is a certain percentage that each question or each topic weigh on the past paper. It is available in other textbooks or like your teacher's guide as well. But if you do not have access to that, you can just use the past papers that you are attempting. You will see that this topic consistently weighs the highest marks compared to all the other topics across all the papers that I am doing. And that is the topic that you need to make sure that you have mastered for your exams. Okay, now just to quickly summarize, you have found your past papers, you picked 3 of them, you have your table where you wrote all the topics that are in that paper, and you've recorded all the marks that you have got for each topic in each paper, and you've attempted all the 3 papers, 1 topic at a time, and now you are satisfied with the marks that you got, and you have your own Q&A bank on the side. So now let's say your exam is in a few days time, or maybe tomorrow, and you cannot go through the process of doing 3 papers, marking and attempting again and correcting and doing a Q&A bank. You just want to know, am I ready for this exam tomorrow? Or you just want to practice in order for you to be good for the exam. So what you can do is take a past paper that you have never attempted before. Do not take a past paper that you have attempted before even if you've just done one question from that past paper. And make sure that that past paper has a memo, obviously. Sit down with that past paper and set time. If the past paper says this paper should be completed in 3 hours, give yourself exactly 3 hours to complete this paper. Timing yourself will help you with time management when it comes to your exam. Especially if you know that you are a slow writer, you need to test yourself how quick is your writing. Because imagine knowing all of your work, practicing all of your work, but then you get to the exam and you do not finish. So you want to avoid that. That is why doing past papers also train you when it comes to your time management. So what you're gonna do now is attempt the question paper from question 1 up until the last question. So you're going to write this past paper like it is your exam. I mean, attempt every question as much as you can and stick to the time limit. After you've done writing down that paper, mark yourself. That mark you get will more or less reflect on how you are going to do on your exam. I recommend you do past papers this way if your exam is within less than a week's time, or you already feel ready for the exam, or you have been getting all your questions right on the first attempt. Then you can move on to doing the question papers this way. Those are all the tips that I had. I hope it was clear. Let me know in the comments if you have any question. Make sure that you like this video and you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye.